You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the powers of death shall not prevail against it. These words are written around the dome of St. Peter's in Rome, just over where St. Peter is very probably buried. Work on the basilica was begun in 1506, when Luther was a young friar, but trouble was brewing, and the basilica was completed in 1620, when the Reformation had happened. And these words in great 6-foot-high letters could be seen as Rome's reply to the Reformers. Here is Peter, here is the rock. But when Jesus tells Peter that he must go to Jerusalem to suffer and to die, Peter says, God forbid, this shall not happen to you. And Jesus rebukes him and says, get behind me, Satan. You are a rock of stumbling to me. For some reason, I couldn't find those words up in the Basilica of St. Peter's. Peter is the rock upon which the church is built, but he's also sometimes a stumbling rock, a wobbly rock. It's revealed to Peter who Jesus is, but he cannot understand as yet what this means. He cannot grasp the idea of a Messiah who must suffer and die a horrible, humiliating death. And that's why we also celebrate St. Paul today. Peter made the right confession, but to St. Paul was revealed some of the radical implications of what that meant. Freedom from the law, a church open to the Gentiles, like us. Christianity needed Peter's confession and Paul's revelation too. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a basilica at St. Peter's. They argue with each other fiercely at Antioch. And St. Paul accuses St. Peter of not being faithful to the meaning of the gospel. Just literally before I came down to this Mass, a friend of mine sent me an image of Peter and Paul painted by Carlo Crivelli in the 15th century, and you have St. Peter looking at the text, looking extremely puzzled, and St. Paul looking at him as if to say, don't you get it? But they both died for their faith. They're both pillars of the church. The church embraces and transcends their difference. I think that's the beauty, the genius of our church. Unity and difference, fidelity and creativity. St. Thomas Aquinas said, the act of believing does not reach completion in the words, but in God. So we express our belief in words, in the creed above all. But this is necessary for a true confession of our faith. Otherwise, we would collapse into vague mysticism. So we need Peter and Peter's successors to go on caring for our fidelity to our faith that we've inherited, to the tradition. This is rather inelegantly called the deposit of faith. They keep us in communion with tradition. But we also need St. Paul, who goes on challenging us to have fresh glimpses of what it all means, these awkward, difficult saints who summon us to go further along the road towards the kingdom, deeper into the mystery. They challenge any complacency. So the church has always had synods and councils in which later Peter's and Paul's have debated. We continue to struggle, as we always will, to see how to be faithful to the creed that we've received and open to what is new, what we don't fully understand as yet. That's the task of the Synod in Rome in October. Pray that its debates are fruitful. May St. Peter and St. Paul bless the Church today and keep us one.